was invited to be part of a foreign direct investment task force called Portugal In, reporting directly to the Prime Minister's office and led by Bernardo Trindade, the ex-Secretary of State of Tourism. And as part of that work, I had to do like a SWOT analysis for foreign direct investment in Portugal and especially Lisbon. And one of the weaknesses at the time, or let's say barriers to further foreign direct investment in Lisbon, was the lack of international schools. My husband and I are a couple who have a business together. We both have had the amazing privilege of families that believed in education and invested in our education. It is one of the ways that we can actually create change in this world. We personally were disappointed by certain events in 2016. There were some world leaders who'd been recently elected who were against being united in the world. We felt a great disappointment that we were taking a few steps back in the world, and we strongly felt that education was the only way to really address this topic. Because in order to solve the greater global problems out there, we need to be united. And that's how the school was named United Lisbon. We were quite passionate about making that project happen for this Lisbon area. As I said, it was a barrier to further foreign direct investment, which means there are companies that couldn't move here, people who couldn't move here because there wasn't a school that could cater to their needs. On the first phase of this project, we started construction in 2019, and COVID happened in 2020. So we had yet another barrier, a huge barrier to face in front of us, a mountain, I would say. But we went ahead, despite, against all odds, we opened the school. At that time, the first batch had 80 kids, and today we have 615 kids, 3.5 years later. So we're really proud that we decided to go ahead with it, and we're very happy. Bringing an existing defunct building that is not in use to life again, you're actually helping the environment by not building a whole new other school somewhere. This was a big thing behind our choosing the old Universidade Independent project that had actually been a Louis Pasteur Institute in its past, which was amazing.
O pegar num edifício com as características que tem hoje a escola e que foi um antigo laboratório e que foi nessa condição que ele ganha a sua relevância e ganha o Prémio Valmor, ou seja, não é um Prémio Valmor tradicional também, é um Prémio de Valmor que ocorre num edifício industrial e que mais tarde, quando chegamos, realmente não encontramos realmente facilidades. Tivemos que converter um edifício industrial, ou pelo menos com caráter semi-industrial, se assim chamemos, que era um laboratório, numa escola que tem necessariamente necessidades diferentes. Em condições normais, teríamos procedido a um conjunto de demolições, a um conjunto de adaptações com grande facilidade. Neste caso, não, porque, de facto, as baias de intervenção, as condicionantes, digamos, as próprias emoções, às vezes não só as características, mas as próprias emoções que são associadas às arquiteturas anteriores, nós tivemos que as manter, ou pelo menos comprometer de forma adequada. E foi assim que fizemos. Por conseguinte, principalmente um dos maiores desafios que houve nesta escola foi, na adaptação do edifício, foi de facto a luz. As necessidades que existem hoje numa sala de aula, que também são objetos em contínua evolução. Hoje, quando falamos de ensino, são realmente, hoje os layouts, os usos, realmente as atividades estão em contínua evolução e, como tal, os espaços também têm essas necessidades diferenciadas. Aqui, a juntar tudo isso ainda, tínhamos de facto que fazer que o edifício cumprisse um conjunto de regras, hoje muito ligadas à sustentabilidade, e é importante referir que a sustentabilidade não é mais apenas um objetivo, é de facto algo inequívoco, que está presente, que não deve ser sequer referido. Eu brinco às vezes com os meus arquitetos, estamos a falar de sustentabilidade, não, estamos a falar de algo que é inevitável hoje nos nossos projetos e os comportamentos, assim como temos outras regras na construção, esta hoje realmente tem uma presença obrigatória e não é mais uma exceção. E aqui no edifício, naturalmente, que sendo um edifício industrial, tivemos, nestas suas adaptações, realmente cuidados extremos e penso que tivemos algum sucesso. Os prémios são sempre uma coisa que um arquiteto compõe e uma equipa compõe inevitavelmente o ego e que nos traz sempre mais vontade de fazer mais.
The other thing we seriously considered with the environmental vector is really getting a BREEAM certification for it, and we've gotten very good by improving the energy efficiency, of the building and all the things we did to get BREEAM. It has a Prémio Valmor, which means that the facade had to be kept and even the color of the building. So we really gutted it out almost, as we say in English, and recreated the classroom spaces that would have transparency. This is one of our important considerations. The reason you see all the glass windows into classrooms is about transparency between the classroom and the outside corridor. And apart from the fact that it brings a lot of natural light into the building, which creates a wonderful work environment for students and the teachers.
Environmental is like a concept that now is embedded everywhere. So it's difficult not to have it in the curriculum. From social studies, when they study different countries, or geography, they talk about sustainability, they talk about circular economy, recycling. In science, they talk about the effects of contamination, pollution. We have over 60 different nationalities. The concepts are very different for the different children. So, for example, some of the Nordic families that enroll in the school, they ask me how easy it is for the children to come cycling to the school. So it's like a default for them. And it's hard to them to explain that it's not that easy for a 12-year-old to come from downtown Lisbon cycling here. But for them it's natural. And the same thing from other concepts. In some nationalities it's very, very innate to recycle, to do all these things. So it's just very interesting. Everybody learns from the other one. One of the things we try to make to facilitate it, and it's not just for these topics, but in general in the school, is try to give the students a real life context when they learn something. So for example, we are having now in geography, the 10th graders are doing a project about sustainability, and there is a multidisciplinary project. They do 3D models, and they use a real case of the school. And we decided to award the winner project, the best project. We're going to take some of their ideas to implement in the school, to make like a real project, to not to be just pure theory. So they feel ownership on the idea as well.
The future of education looks very different to what the future of yesterday looked like. If you look at Education 4.0, and search it up, what are the future skills that we need to be building in children in the age of AI? You need to be tech savvy. So we have 5 pillars for this project. The education here is based on technology, global citizenship, entrepreneurship, the arts, and sports. And actually, when you dig a bit further into these 5 pillars, you really see why we've put this bigger project together and why this project has a phase 2 and phase 3. We need to work, for example, on collaboration. The skills of collaboration need to be super high in the future for kids. Empathy, they need to understand where other people are coming from. Teamwork, emotional intelligence. And in order to build on these skills, what do you have to do? You have to do project-based learning. You have to be in an international environment. We have 50 plus nationalities represented in the student body today, and we're very proud of that. You need students to connect to real-life companies and interesting projects out there. Phase 2 will double the square meters for more classrooms, makerspace, more labs, lounges, indoor sports facilities, an auditorium that seats 250 people. And phase 3 will add more, actually, classrooms, because that's where we're going to be moving the highest 2 years into phase. There's a building in phase 3 that we're doing. But in phase 3 are also apartments for students, so IB students to do boarding. Some apartments actually available for university students in the area. What normally happens in a school is that after hours and at the weekends, the facilities go dead. And this is another vector of sustainability that we like to talk about. It's multiple uses of the facilities we're creating instead of, yet another sports field for another use or yet another auditorium.
Naturalmente que hoje existem formas de construir e principalmente disponibilidade de alguns materiais que também obrigam a repensar as nossas ambições e os nossos rigores. E penso que a sustentabilidade hoje é precisamente mais um elemento que compõe um objeto. E se for limitação em alguma altura, e por vezes como é um material, como é uma determinada necessidade de aplicar um determinado vidro ou de rasgar uma determinada fachada, pois é mais um desafio a caminho do resultado final. Tem que ser necessariamente um resultado coerente. E às vezes acho que posso até ser redutor em relação a algumas percepções, mas normalmente terei que analisar do meu ponto de vista. O grande sucesso do projeto é a capacidade de unir mais partes do que é costume e ter atingido um todo superior, conseguindo principalmente com as limitações que há e que houve no início do projeto. Porque uma coisa é desenhar um objeto de raiz, em que as regras estão bem definidas. Outra coisa é, durante a reconstrução de um edifício, a começar na sua demolição, a acabar realmente na sua conclusão, ter que nos ir adaptando e ir adicionando essas partes para construir o todo. Necessidades realmente escolares nada têm a ver com uma necessidade de um serviço ou daquela construção de um espaço de escritórios. Por isso, estes sucessos e estas aplicações destas tecnologias que aqui foram usadas são mensuráveis no seu todo e no seu uso.
The design of the school was made thinking on being environmentally friendly and very, very safe in energy and controlling, but I'm more interested on the activities that come from the students. So we have a very active eco club, so they're volunteer students that meet after school and they come up with many ideas. So if you give the ownership to them to keep the school clean and you give a project, they will be the ones controlling and having. And the environmental club is very active on gardening. They're trying to do a roof garden. They're doing recycling. We integrate in some of the art. They collect trash and that is used for art projects and etc. I think transportation will be one of the major goals. We'd like to facilitate. We already have areas in the garage for people that come with scooters and bicycles, and that eventually will be like one of the major goals.
Learning is hybrid these days, but the physical presence is really important to discuss projects and to have the face-to-face contact, and that's what we're trying to do here as well. One of the objectives is really to provide areas for blended learning to happen.
One thing that is clear in education now, schools used to have like a department for technology completely isolated, right? One thing we're trying to do is to have technology as a normal tool. So it's not just used for technology itself. So in every subject, even in physical education, they could have, and they have, interaction with the technology department. So technology should be a common tool. One of our teachers that joined us this year is one of the gurus on artificial intelligence. It's something that we know that we better learn now and have our students and our teachers to be on the front edge before it's too late.
One of the financing challenges was really communicating this new idea of having an international school on the side of Lisbon. Our relationship with Crédit Agricola was very, very good. We had to prove our business plan and really talk about the future and talk about the spaces. But one of the challenges was definitely the licensing process. Things like the Simplex would have really helped us at that time. It's wonderful that it's here now, new procedures and processes for getting licensing before you start getting money released for your project. I don't ask for subsidies. What I would love is for the government to put that into better tram connections, more bus connections, more public transport that is able to bring people in here. There's a lot of revival that can be done just with public transport.